everyone, thank you for joining me. Hello. I'm just going to wait for more people to join, so. Hi. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait for a few more people to join, and then I'll start. But I'm gonna be talking about my upcoming book, which is Kasey's Diary. If you have any questions or anything that you want to say, then leave a comment and I'll answer them later, or I'll answer them during the live. So, but I'm just waiting for a few more people to join. Hi. If you have any questions, like I said before, or anything to say in general, just leave them down below, leave a comment, and I'll be answering them all. I'm just waiting for a few more people to join. Or you can tell me how was your day and or did you enjoy your day or anything like that. Leave it down below and I'll answer them all. I'm very happy and very open to be answering everyone's questions. Hello. I should actually share this. Okay, so a few more people are joining. Hi everyone. I'm just waiting for a few more people to join and then I'll begin. I'm going to be talking about my upcoming book, which is the second series of Kasey's Diary. Oh, and to the people who have just joined, if you have anything you want to say or any questions, then drop them down below and I'll answer them all. Or if you want to tell me like how your day went or things that you just enjoyed throughout the week, then drop that down below and I'll react to that. And thank you for joining as well. Okay, so I'm gonna start now because a few people have joined. So if you didn't know, my name is Latoya Likambi and I'm the author of 2 books right now, which are short stories by Latoya Likambi. And this book is a series of short stories which come in handy for young children, and they have loads of moral lessons inside, like not to lie, not to steal, like to be kind, like patience and things like that, and also confidence tips for young children. And it's just fun it's just filled with really fun stories which will keep young kids entertained. And then after that I published Kasey's Diary, and this book I recently just published, which was actually just last spring in April, and this book got a second bestseller on Amazon. So Kasey's Diary is a lead on from my first book, and what happens is basically in short stories, my first book, Kasey was one of the main characters, and I decided take her out of that book and like make another book that was just all about her, since in the first book everybody like loved her because she was so confident, and she gained a lot of popularity for her confidence, and she was so unique. And as she got into middle school, of course she's still unique, but her confidence died down and she developed low self-esteem. And this is where I think that this really comes in handy for children who are my age. So I would say, first of all, that this book is probably for like 11 plus, because I think that's when like many young children in today's society relate to what Kasey goes through. So as I was saying before, she developed low self-esteem, she became less confident, and she began trying to fit into groups that she didn't fit into, and she started associating with the wrong people because she wanted to gain popularity, and she wanted to fit in, she wanted to like her. And I don't think, first of all, if you're seeing this, I don't think that is, if it's like any child sings, that is not how we should be at all. Even if you feel like the need and people are pressuring you, which is what she went through, peer pressure, that is not the need. Fitting in never helps, and fitting in only makes you be like everybody else. And people, believe it or not, people eventually will take advantage of that. They'll be like, oh, what's she gonna do? She's just like everybody else. When she's with everybody, she'll act all big and all that, and then when she's by herself, all her confidence is gone. So it's always good to stand up for yourself, be yourself, find yourself, know yourself, and not go after anybody else. So what happened next in Kasey's diary is she went ahead and she has these really good group of friends who have been her friends ever since the first book, which is short stories. And Kasey was really close to them, and they had such a great bond. They were like family. And Kasey went ahead and she betrayed her friends to gain popularity. So she was being kind of like an unloyal friend, because she wanted the title of popularity, or just because she wanted to have materialistic fame. And that is another huge mistake that loads of people make that will not get you anywhere. You're better sticking with your real friends, because people who don't accept you for who you are and they want to turn you into something that you're not so that you can fit in, they are toxic. And once you're in a toxic environment with toxic people, it's hard to come out of unless you find yourself and you know who you are, which Kasey did not. So Kasey found it hard and she really struggled, and even though she knew that she was being used, she continued to hang out with them. And every time her friends were concerned for her, they were like, Kasey, you know, they're using you. Kasey, you're gonna get hurt. And she was like, it's fine. But she really knew that they were using her, and she knew that they didn't like her. But then obviously she's just gonna play off as she's fine to her friends, and play off that she's better off with the popular people at school when she really isn't. And she knows that she feels pressure to belong into that group, and she knows that like she doesn't belong there, because you can tell it's not like you feel like, oh, I don't belong here because I'm not good enough, because of course you're good enough. It's I don't belong here because these people do not hold my values. These people are nothing like me. These people are reaching for fame, and at the end of the day, fame is nothing, because when you go and when you die, we don't take any fame. We don't take the amount of followers we have with us. We don't take the amount of design. When we die, we leave the world with nothing, absolutely nothing. So you need to accept yourself, because what's the point in wanting to go and be accepted by people who clearly have problems and issues themselves, and clearly have insecurities themselves, when you know that you accept yourself? Which is why confidence is such a key thing that you need to have, because if you're not confident and you don't know yourself, then you're going to start relying on what other people tell you. And especially if they're the type of friends who are toxic, because of course toxic friends are going to be nice to your face and going to be horrible behind your back. So Why would you want to fit into such a group of people that, you know, if somebody can talk to you bad about somebody else, then they can easily go ahead and talk just as bad about you to another person. So you need to stand your ground, know your worth, and don't go chasing after those people, because you have so much more important things to focus on. You have such an important future to focus on. And even if you feel like you don't, God will always open opportunities for you, even when you feel like, I'm down here, like nobody loves me, and this is the only thing I can do. If you can't accept yourself, one thing that I would say is you go to God, because nobody in this world will have your back forever. Whether it's your parents, your own parents, or your cousins, or the closest person that you've known forever, nobody will ever have your back. And the only person that will have your back like that is God. So you go to God, and even if you feel like, oh, but he's not with me, he's like, I don't want to be going and crying and talking to like the air. God is with you. He might not be there like as if like physically, but he is with you, and he doesn't have to be there physically with you, because he can do way more past all these people who are there right next to you physically, who will bring you down, betray you, leave you. They will pressure you, they will oppress you, they'll say all sorts, they will criticize you. And that is because people on this world are materialistic. People are nothing like God. So the only person who will ever have your back is God. So that is the two things that I would say personally that will work for finding your worth. You need to know yourself, find it for yourself, and find it from God, because God is the only person who will listen to all of your problems. Because not even me, I won't go around and listen to everybody's problems. Not even me, because I have my own problems and everybody has their own business to solve. God is the only person who will listen to everything that you have to say. So what happened next in the story is basically Kasey, she came and she figured that what she'd done was wrong, and she did this by thinking. She thought to herself, like, she was looking at her surroundings, she was like, this is toxic, I can't live like this anymore. I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be pressured to fit in, especially if this is a trend one time and then I've worked extra hard to get this so I can fit in, but then there's another trend round the corner. Like, what is the point? So she was like, this is really dumb. I don't want to do this anymore, and I've betrayed my best friends, and they're the only ones who are there for me at the moment. They might not be there for me forever, but at least they're there to tell me that I'm perfect the way that I am. Like, I'm imperfectly perfect the way I am. At least they're there to tell me that I don't need to fit in, or I don't need to change to be with them or to associate with them. And at least, even though she betrayed them, in the end they forgave her. So the first time Kasey apologized, they weren't really sure, because obviously they're teenagers, so they're not really sure. And with their mindset, even myself, if somebody does something like that to you and you betray, people think like to forgive you have to take back the person again, and you don't have to do that. That is what they've done. But say if someone does something really horrible and you choose to forgive them, forgiving them doesn't mean forgive and forget, we can be friends. You can say that I forgive you, but I'm not going to put up with this again, so I'm not going to like be your friend, but I forgive you. So it's not all forgive and forget. It's forgive, but don't put up with the behavior, and help the person, or especially if it's a friend, help them improve. So that's exactly what they done. So first of all, they were unsure. They were like, well, Kasey, I mean, you can easily do what you done again. You can easily betray us again. So she didn't give up at all, because she wanted them back, and she knew that they were the only ones there at the moment who would be with her and stick around with her. They were the only ones at the moment who would accept her and help her with her confidence, because they were like, they all had their unique things. They all had their weird little cliques that they would get along with, and they would praise and make funny. And they would normalize, because it's okay to be different. Like, if you're not different, which nobody is, but if you're not different, if we weren't different, then everything would be the same. It wouldn't just be boring, it would be annoying, because you'd see like 10 copies of yourself everywhere, 10 copies of the same house everywhere. Like, life would just go on, and it would repeat, and we wouldn't even have to live. Like, what would be the point of living if everybody was the same? So she didn't give up at all, and she fought for her friendship back. She created them stuff. She went out and she bought things for them, and they still didn't forgive her. And instead, they were really angry, because, you know, they tried to warn Kasey, and Kasey got really mad at them. So they tried to warn her, and she went out of her way, and she bought them stuff, and they, of course, they didn't accept the second time either, and then they threw her stuff in the bin, and she was just like, she was about to give up. At this point, she was just like, they don't want me anymore as a friend. Like, what, should I try, or should I just give up? And then she went ahead the third time, and she tried again. She wrote a letter, and she begged. She wrote from her heart, knowing that, like, these are my friends. Like, do you know, it's not someone that I would just call my friend and like associate with. These are my friends. These are the people who have had my back for years, and these are the people who have helped me become who I am. So she went ahead and she wrote from the bottom of her heart, and she begged for their forgiveness, and she was like, I'm really sorry, and no matter what, like, what happens, we're always going to be friends, and I really want that friendship back. So this time her friends looked at her, and they were like, do you know what, Kasey really does want to be our friend, because she wouldn't go, nobody would go out their way, especially in this society, to, one, say sorry the first time. For people, most people, it's, oh, they don't forgive me, their loss. But it's their loss and your loss too, especially if you lost great friends. So she went ahead the second time, and they had the audacity to, it's not like they had the audacity, but like, that's how she would have felt. She would have been like, oh, they had the audacity to throw this away in the bin when I stayed up all night to do this and this and this. So I'm definitely not going to be their friend. I'm not going to beg for their forgiveness when they're going to throw my stuff, basically throwing my money away. That's how people would think of it as in these days, and that's materialistic. That's being a materialistic friend, because friends doesn't come from like how much money you have or your popularity or things like that. Friends is from your heart, and friends is from yourself. So she didn't think about that like that way. She was thinking about the way that she stayed up for them, and she begged them. She wasn't thinking about the money. She wasn't like, oh, this is like my money that I saved up to buy you this, and you throw it in the bin. She was more of the person who was thinking, I specifically picked this one because I knew you for ages, and I knew you're this person, you're this type of person, you love this. So they realized that, and they're like, oh, okay, so she knows me well, of course she does, and she really wants the friendship back. They could see that they were touched by her spirit of persistence, and the spirit that she had, like, she did not give up. That is another key message in Kasey's diary. Kasey's diary, one of the biggest messages is to not give up and to persist, because the amount of successful people that I can name here that didn't give up and are only successful because of the amount of times they didn't give up are countless. So many people, like if you look at the author of Harry Potter is a worldwide best-selling book. The film is everywhere. Everybody knows about Harry Potter, and she got rejected a numerous amount of times. She kept getting shut down by everyone, telling her that she wasn't good enough, like your book's not going to make it anywhere, things like that. But she did not give up until it worked and it turned out fair. And if you don't give up, especially when you're like in your lowest of times and you think that there's definitely no solution, there's always a solution. Like if there wasn't a solution, then we'd all be dead. If there wasn't any solution to anything, then we'd all be dead. All you need to do is have faith in yourself and trusting God, because like if you don't need to worry about the past, because the past, it's already happened. You don't need to worry about the future, because God's got your future in your hands. So you don't need to worry about anything that's going to happen in the future. You just need to think about now, and you just need to think of a solution for now, because the solution that you pick now is going to help your future, so you won't have to worry about that anyways. So she thought of his solution, and it was to not give up. So she did so, and they forgave her. And in the end of the story, she was like, they realized that this is my friend, and Kasey was like, I'm never ever going to associate with toxic people again. I'm never ever going to have to try and fit in. And of course it's not like that, because it's not exactly like that, because nobody's going to like go through one series of a book and say, I'm never going to fit in again. Of course, and Kasey's only a teenager, like so am I. Of course, sometimes you're going to still want to, do this because she is doing that, or he and her is doing this, so why can't I too? But the message is to don't go out of your way completely. Don't go out of your way to try and be like somebody else, or don't do something that someone else is doing because you want to be like them. Do it for your own pleasure. So that's what they realized by the end of the story. And she was like, she kind of knows her worth, because in the other series, the next series that are upcoming, she gets herself a little lost again, because not everything is perfect like that. Life's not perfect, you're not perfect, and of course you're still gonna have to overcome struggles and challenges, but eventually she'll get through them all. And that is when I want to end the series, when she feels like she's in a good place and when she's achieved all her goals. That's when I'm going to end the series of Kasey's Diary. So that's the end of this book. So the upcoming book is, of course, Kasey's Diary 2, and this is called An Anderson Adventure. So this is more about her family. So there's half and half. So the first half is about her and her friends, and then the second half is about Kasey and her family. So basically in the first half, it's all about school again, because like when you read Kasey's Diary, the first one was mostly about school, and it's always about like school drama, people with school, just school, because the majority of the time you're in school as a teenager or as a kid, like most of your life is spent in school. So this time it's like the summer holidays halfway through, so she goes on vacation with her family, so you get to see a bit more like about her family, and you get to know a bit more about them. So I'm going to explain some of the first half and then the second half, and I'll explain that, and then I'll probably round up and answer people's questions. So in the first half, there's a new girl. So in this book there's a new girl, and this new girl, shout out to my cousin, because my cousin Kara has she loves all my books, and she's always wanted to be my book, so I put her in the book, and she is one of the main characters, and she's always going to be one of the main characters now. And this girl is called Kara. And if you guys didn't know, kind of like the leader of this popular gang that Kasey tried to fit in the first book is called Brittany, and Kara is Brittany's cousin. So when she first hears about her, she's like, oh no, like she is stuck, she thinks she's doomed, she thinks that she's in trouble, she thinks like her life is over because she's dramatic like that. And that's basically what many of us think. Like, say if you have like someone you're not friends with, or someone you're not cool with, somebody that like despises you in school, and their family member comes, of course it's their family member, and they're probably gonna have talked bad about you to their family member, especially if you're coming to their school. So she's like, oh no. And Kara sees the worry in her eyes, because Kasey, as soon as she sees Kara walking over to her, she's panicking, and she's pretending to like look for things in her bags, and she's like da 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 da, I'm scared and things like that. So she's not completely scared, but she's just nervous, and her like her heart's just racing and stuff. So Kara comes over, and she's like, oh, you look like you're nervous and things, and my cousin, I know my cousin has told you this and this, and I know you and my cousin don't like, then you're not cool with each other, and I know that you're probably assuming that I'm just like my cousin, but Kayra is nothing like her cousin, and Kayra is the complete opposite of her cousin. So I added my cousin in real life. I added her personality to Kayra. So Kayra does swimming and she does a lot of gymnastics. She's really talented and she's really beautiful, just like my cousin in real life. And Kayra is kind, she's not just beautiful on the outside, she's beautiful on the inside. She's kind. She made it clear to Kasey that I'm nothing like my cousin, and she clicked with Kasey straight away. She didn't just click with Kasey, but she also got along with her best friends. So it wasn't like Kasey was betraying her friends again. So she helped them, and especially because if you're enemies with someone and their cousin comes to the school or their sibling comes to the school, they're obviously going to know all their strengths and weaknesses, and they didn't use that against Brittany or any of the popular kids, but they used it to help themselves, because she reassured her, like, Brittany has so many insecurities too. All the people, especially in real life, many celebrities have so many insecurities. There's not one person on this earth without an insecurity. So she assured her, she was like, this girl, she has so many insecurities. She even gets jealous of me, her own cousin, sometimes. Kasey was just shocked, and she was like, wow, I didn't know a person as perfect as Brittany could have all these insecurities and who could struggle a lot with all these things. So it helped her a lot. It helped her realize that Brittany isn't perfect, and it helped her realize that Brittany is, she's masking her feelings, especially when she walks through the door and she goes to school. She puts whatever has been, pressed down on her, she puts it on others to make herself feel higher, but she's really just at the same level, because everybody's the same, everyone's equal, but we're all different. But nobody's more special than the other, so they're both at the same level. And the only reason why Kasey thought that she was lower than Brittany and Brittany thought that she's higher than Kasey and everybody else in the school is because of all the materialistic things she owns, all the materialistic titles she's got, like prom queen in the past, and she walks around like this is like a mean girl scene in school and things like that. But it's nothing like that, and she does have insecurities, and this is just a message to anybody who is bullied or is facing peer pressure. The person who's bullying you or pressuring you, they have their own problems. So always be aware that they're not perfect and they're just putting you down to make themselves feel better. So basically, Kayra helps them, and she doesn't just say she doesn't pull them to rely on her all the time, because of course Kayra's not going to be there for Kasey and her friends all the time. So she helps them stand up for themselves. So that's going smoothly. And the bounce here, the dip actually here is the second half of the book, and this is a whole different twist. So this is when her family comes in, and we start to focus a bit more on her family. So you meet Kasey's family. Kasey's family is wild, funny, hilarious. Kasey's family is just, it's completely, I don't even know how to explain it. Kasey's family is just mad. Kasey's family, they have so much going on. It can just be a chill Saturday afternoon. They have nothing to do, and something has to happen. Something wild has to happen. Whenever you're with the Andersons family, you can't expect things to go smoothly. So what happens is they decide to go out for Kasey's little sister Lily's 7th birthday in Spain. And I got this inspiration because I have a question here, which is, what inspired you to write the book? So this was inspired from my holiday, or vacation, or whatever you want to call it, from a few summers back. I think it was just last summer, the summer before last. And we went to Spain for my little sister's birthday. And if you didn't know, the character of Lily portrays the character of my little sister. They're both very mischievous, but of course, since it's a chapter book, I make things more extra and I make things more dramatic for entertainment. So we went to Spain for my baby sister's 3rd birthday, but then it was Lily's 7th birthday in the book. And basically, a lot happens, and it's all Lily, and Lily always has to make things go wild. Basically, most of the drama from Kasey's family comes from Lily. And in the first chapter, not the first chapter, the first few chapters of the second half of the book, Kasey talks about how she thought it was just going to be her mom, her dad, and Lily. But then Kasey's big sister comes along, and if you didn't know, Kasey's big sister Tilly has her own fiance, and Kasey's big sister also has her own kids. So there's already enough of them, just Kasey's family alone. But then she brings her big sister's family, who are also their family too. They're also the Andersons, but of course that's going to be even more wilder. So this does not go smooth at all, and a lot happens. But overall, it is a good holiday, and the key here, the key message is to accept your family for who they are, and because your family are going to stick around forever. Like, they might not be there with you physically, but like they'll always be there with you, like somehow or another. Like, if a family member dies, their presence is going to stay with you. And you should never, it's like also another message is you should never take your family for granted. Like, of course your family will make, there's times your family makes you want to scream and shout, and then there's other times your family wants, like, they want to make you laugh, and like it's just funny, and there's good moments. But that's just family, and everything like that just comes with family. So they go ahead on this holiday, and there's a lot happening on the first few days. Like, Kasey's parents arguing, Lily, she's just doing her thing. She's just, I don't even know what she's doing. She's just going everywhere, going wild with her nieces, and then there's the baby boy who's just crying, and then it's just completely wild. So then there is the day that comes of the reason why they went on holiday, and that's Lily's birthday. So on this day, everything is about Lily. Kasey, I'm going to explain how Kasey sees it. So Kasey is like, everything's about Lily. My parents want the whole world to revolve around Lily. My parents want everybody to stop in time, everybody to stop what they're doing and focus on Lily. So they put all their attention on Lily, of course, because it's her birthday. But Kasey is being a bit dramatic, and she thinks that they're putting a bit too much attention on Lily. So they're spending unnecessary amounts of money on Lily. They're buying whatever Lily says. Lily is a 7-year-old. Bear in mind you, she's 7, and she has, this 7-year-old has her parents running after her all over the supermarket, all over the mall, all over the shopping, all over the retail park, ordering and demanding, I want this, and I think that's like, that's kind of like my sister, because my sister is she is quite demanding, and my sister is basically like, it's her way or the highway. Like, if my sister doesn't get what she wants, then you're gonna have a hard time coping with my sister. Like, not coping, but like looking after her. So you got to like, and of course she's still young, so of course we're gonna give her, but it doesn't mean like she's spoiled like that. So I just decided to take that little bit of character from my sister and put into Lily. So Kasey is like, oh, my parents don't care at this point. My parents just like, I might as well just like be my big sister's child in a way, because my parents only want Lily. So there was a specific scene which I found really funny, and it was basically when Kasey's parents spent a ridiculous amount of money on her sister for unnecessary things, and then Kasey wanted a donut or something, and this happened to me, and Kasey wanted a donut. She saw this donut shop it was Dunkin' Donuts, I remember, because I was in this situation, and I asked for like a donut or something, and my parents were just like, no, we don't have the money for that right now. We are going to focus on your sister because it's her day. And I was like, but this donut is so cheap, and you're gonna spend all this money on my sister, and all I wanted was a donut. But it was okay because I got ice cream. But Kasey, in the story, I decided to make things more dramatic for Kasey, and Kasey didn't get anything. So Kasey decided I had enough, and she just walked away from her family. And I don't recommend you do this, especially if you're in a foreign country, especially if you're away from home. So Kasey, she goes ahead and she just leaves her family, and she walks around this shop by herself, and she starts looking around, and she starts imagining, because Kasey has this wild imagination. She starts looking at all the foods, and she starts imagining that she's eating them. Imagine you are so hungry to the point where you look at food and you have to imagine that you're eating it. But anyway, luckily enough, soon after they went to get birthday brunch, and she was really happy. She did mention like it was hot, and of course with Kasey being Kasey, she's dramatic like that. But it was a good day, and I was just explaining that part of the story through Kasey's perspective. And she explained overall it was a really good holiday, and the day after that they were packing up to leave, and she got the message that she should appreciate her family, and she loves her family, and her family is like, whether she's in a mood or not in a mood, her family will always be there for her. Her family always got her back. Her family is just home. Her family is like, you know, your family is family. Family is love, and love is family. So she realizes, and she's like grateful for her family. She's grateful for her sister especially, and that is basically the end of the story. And she learned to appreciate her family. She kind of found out who she was, and she's learned to stand up for herself with and without a friend, and everything is going really well. So that's basically the end of Kasey's diary, the upcoming Kasey's diary. And this book is hopefully being published by the end of this month, August, and it is going to be so entertaining. This book is going to be amazing. Like I just explained, like if you don't go and get this book, you are definitely missing out. So I highly recommend that you stay tuned for any updates, and I'll be always updating you on my story on my Instagram, which is Latoya Likambi. I'm live on Instagram and then also live on Facebook. If not, the book will obviously be on Amazon, your local bookshops, and then there's also the link in my bio for our publishing company. And for those who don't have that, it is www.likambiglobalpublishing.com, www.likambiglobalpublishing.com, and there you can see all about my books, all about my mum's books, what we do. We help you achieve your dreams of becoming an author, and we host many writing competitions, creative writing competitions. We host a lot of fun things for young children. We have confidence building masterclasses, and we've had experience from being authors ourselves, so we'll know how it's like, and we'll want the best for you too, because we want to inspire other people to, and help them, not just inspire them, help them reach their dreams and achieve their dreams, so therefore they can go and do the same to others. So if you click the link on my bio if you're on Instagram, and if you're on Facebook, it's www.likambiglobalpublishing.com. So that is it for today, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave questions down below. Feel free to put anything that you want. I'll be definitely answering them, and I will be doing loads of videos on my YouTube, which is Latoya Likambi and Sibling Squad. So I do one is kind of a bit more fun, but then I will still start doing more important stuff and promoting my book on there. And then there's Latoya Likambi. So this video will probably be on my YouTube as well. So if it does go up to YouTube, if you have any questions or if you have anything, comment down below and I'll answer them all. I'll answer every single question. I love answering questions. And then if you are on Instagram, I put questions on my story every Friday and every Saturday, so you can ask me anything and I'll be answering anything. So thank you so much for joining my live, and I can't wait till the book comes out. And I definitely want to see you all like with the book and things like that. And I love when people's pictures come in with them of the book. I'm like, oh, people are taking pictures with my book. That is so cute. I will definitely feature you on my page. If you're on Instagram and when my book comes out, you take a picture with the book, tag me or use my hashtag, which is just Latoya Likambi, and I will definitely feature you on my page because I love to see that. And also, here's a quick update about my brand, which is Kasey Cosmetics, which is I've only just mentioned this today in this live, but if you didn't already know, I'm the CEO of Kasey Cosmetics, which is 100% natural and organic brand, and I sell vegan-free, cruelty-free products, kid-friendly products, and I'm looking for some ambassadors who can promote the brand. And I am doing like the best promoter and in my brand, and there's like, we have a group chat and we get along really well, and everybody associates with each other really good. We do collabs and things like that with each other, so you can get to know each other and you can help, it helps building people's confidence. So I'm looking for ambassadors who are children or teenagers who can help promote my brand, and the best promoter at the end of the year will receive loads of gifts and loads of other things. So if you have any questions about that, or you're interested, if you're interested in becoming a promoter or a ambassador or a model, then you can contact me or my mom. If you want to contact me, then it's on Instagram, which is Latoya Likambi. And for those who are watching on Instagram, you can DM me, or you can go to the one on Kasey Cosmetics, which is just Kasey Cosmetics on Instagram. And that's it for today. So thank you so much for joining. Oh, is there something? Oh, I have some questions. Okay, so I'm just going to answer these questions and then I'll end the live. So the questions are, okay, how do you find time to write books? So I write books in my spare time, so I have like things that come first before any other just random things. So there's school, as school's coming up, that's my main priority, which is school. And then I have my books, obviously, because my books on cosmetics comes together because that's my business, and that's just other things I do, which is really important, but it's not academic, and it will really like help my future, so it's important, so I put that up there. Next, I don't put this there, but my parents kind of put this there for me, so therefore I don't really have a choice, which is my chores. So it's like work around the house and things like that, so I don't really have a choice for that. That just fits in anyway. And then there's my friends, and then there's my family, and then after that there's basically anything else. And then that also comes in with, do you watch TV or play games? I don't watch TV. I do have the option to watch TV. We have a TV, but I'm just not a TV person. It's not like I don't enjoy watching TV. It's just like I don't really have the time for TV, and I have like a phone and a laptop and stuff, so I can do like way more there, but it's not like I use it to just waste my time and things like that. And do you play games? I don't really play games. I have played games before, but I'm not like the type of person who just like focuses on games. I was thinking of making a gaming channel one day, but like that's just not me. That's not for me, so I'm not going to be doing that. And this one says, what will your next book be about? Well, this was what the live was about, so I basically explained about my next book, but I can go over that briefly, like really quickly. So the next book is just basically about Kasey finding her confidence once again, and her family, and her realizing the importance of her family. And why did you write this genre? Oh, diary, as in diary, sorry. And I decided to write diary because I relate to diaries more, and also because I feel many other people will. And it's not a thing many people open up about. So like, I know this for a fact, many people will have diaries, but they just don't open up about it, and I didn't really open up about that either. And also because they're the type of books that I like to read. And at the time when I was reading I do like to read a lot, and I still do read a lot. It's just I don't read as much as I used to because I'm busy writing my own books. So when I was like really reading like that, like reading every minute, I would read diaries, and many people who are my age would enjoy them. So I was like, why not put it in that format? And then there's, what do you want to do when you grow up? When I grow up, I want to basically it's the same thing what I'm doing now, but like 10 times more successful. So I still want to be an author, but I want to be a best-selling author. I want to have my own clothing brand. I've always wanted to have my own clothing brand, even before I thought of cosmetics. I've always been the person who's like, I love clothes, and I've always wanted to have my own clothing brand. So I'm definitely going to do that. And then also I want my cosmetics brand to be really successful in the future. And then I think I have some other things here. Answer. Okay. It says, more grace, keep shooting, so brilliant. Wow, very eloquent and confident. Proud of you. Thank you everybody for all the love and support, and I definitely can't wait to see everybody with their books and at the upcoming book launches. I'm really excited. Thank you for all the love and support, and thank you so much for joining today's live. Thank you for all the questions, and thank you for anything else. And if you didn't have the chance to answer the question on live, the video will be aired after everywhere, so you can still ask questions, and I'll answer them all. So thank you so much for joining today's live, and I hope that you have an amazing day, and I cannot wait to see everyone with Kasey's diary. So bye.